Alright, today we got our first overdressed start deck evolution, which was also revealed during the anime, so let's begin! But first, cards for the last few days, and yes, I am ignoring Dokuvan again. So first off, a rare for Stokea, a Sylvan card, Sylvan Horn Beast Elven, grade 1, AK power and skills. Count back row. During the battle that this unit attacks, when your opponent would guard this attack, they must call 2 or more at the same time. This obviously has good synergy with Magnolia, especially with the new one, spoiler alert, because Magnolia focuses on back row attack and it also gives power boost along with it. So it would be really funny for a weak ass attack and forcing your opponent to use 2 cards to guard that weak ass attack. So overall, it's a nice option. Skipping a bunch of cards, going to a double rare for Dragon Empire, we go to Twin Bullet of Duststorm Travis. Grade 2, 10k power and skills. Act Rearguard. Once per turn, if your opponent's rearguard was retired this turn, cost counter plus 1, soul charge 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire, and then it gets plus 10k power until the end of the turn. This is obviously meant for Eugene, but it's very nice that it's generic, meaning that you can play this in any Dragon Empire retire related decks. The only clause that might be an issue is that you must retire your opponent's rearguards during the turn, so it really depends on the deck, and sometimes your opponent will have no rearguards depending on the deck, but this is overall a good card. Next, a new overdressed order, which is a rare, Supplementing Wishes, which is a grade 2 normal order, and you play it by Soul Blasting 1. Choose one of your units in overdressed state. Until the end of the turn, it gets this ability. Auto Rearguard. When this card attacks a Vanguard, countercharge 1. Yes, I will admit this is not as good as Elgar, but considering that the new Magnolia doesn't get the original name of their base form Magnolia, and I'm pretty sure Nirvana is going to be the same thing, this might be a better option for countercharging if the new Nirvana doesn't count as the original Nirvana. Because remember, Elgar requires the base form Nirvana to be able to do the superior overdress. And if Magnolia goes anything to go by where it doesn't count as base form Magnolia, well, the new Nirvana is not going to really count as that either. So by chance, this will have some use, especially when the new Varina looks like a fusion of the previous form Varinas. So I do see a slight chance of mimicking some of the previous forms of Varina, with an improvement of them of course. So for now it is a meh, but who knows, it could still be good. So that's it for the card of the days I'm willing to go over. Time for the Tuesday stream. And that will include anime card reveal. Our first card is Sylvan Horn Beast Pathero, grade 2, 90 power and skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, cost Soul Blast 1. Choose a card that is not itself from your drop zone and call it to rearguard. Very nice recovery, except it still costs a soul, and Stokea tends to use a lot of soul. But anyway, second skill, Auto Rearguard. When this card attacks, if your Vanguard is Magnolia, this card gets plus 5k power until the end of that battle. So basically 14k beater that could call something back from the drop zone. Not bad, definitely fixes some numbers, as most of your rearguards are going to attack alone without boosting, especially once you hit the grade 4 Magnolia, and recovery is always nice. So, in my eyes, probably a 4 of. And now to the evolved form of Magnolia, Sylvan Horn Beast Emperor Magnolia Elder. It's a grade 4 with triple drive, keep that one in mind, with 13 power, with the skill up. Auto, when placed on Vanguard, choose a card from your soul, call it to rearguard. Yeah, you call something from soul, but hey, it's still a free plus. Speaking of free, second skill, count Vanguard. If you have one or more Magnolia in your soul or rearguard, all your rearguards can attack and intercept from the back row and also gets plus 5k power. So basically, it's like base form Magnolia, except it's free! And not only that, you get the bonus of being able to intercept from the back row. So this is definitely worth playing, and I would actually prefer playing this over Persona Ride, because Persona Ride you have to constantly get it to your hand just to get the consistent 6 attacks, while this one you just need to be on Vanguard and you don't really need to do anything. And also being a grade 4 is not even an issue because you got a ride deck that could ride up to grade 3, so having main deck grade 4s won't even clog up your deck. At most, the biggest issue I would see from these new evolutions is that they do not count as their base form name, because there are some cards that will only interact with their base forms. So I do see a little issue with that. But in that, I do see more playability now, because now you can make a choice of you either Persona riding, giving you a draw with 10k power for a whole front row for 1 turn, or you could just do a triple drive every turn, which I of course will see as a better option. Unless if there's the problem where you have to be at the specific Vanguard, that might cause some issues depending on the deck. But to me, I would indeed trade off my Persona ride for a triple drive every single turn. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think about the new Magnolia, along with the fact that the new evolutions seem to be grade 4s that won't be inheriting the original names, also trading off the Persona ride for the triple drive? Magnolia overall is just awesome, just everything free. And grade 4s is not a problem with me, considering that we got a ride deck. And trading Persona ride for triple drive is also not a problem. Although it does depend on the deck, because some decks do rely on having that very specific Vanguard, which is probably my biggest gripe, that these evolutions do not inherit the original base form's names. At least based on seeing Magnolia. But other than that, I'm fine with everything. And other than that, see you all next time.